Hey guys, this is Dave, aka Festin Studios. I am going to do a tutorial breakdown on one of the tracks here. Uh, Figure I'll give it a shot, do some new stuff here. If this gains traction, gains views, that kind of good stuff, I'll probably be doing more. So first of all, if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that. That helps me out for sure. So to talk about what we're going to go through, we're going to talk about the track, the form of the track, like ABC form, etc. We'll be playing the track in its entirety. I'm going to solo each instrument or my weapons of choice here. I'll explain why I chose them and how I EQ them. Then I'll talk about how I fit them into the mix, how they fit together and layer together. Then we'll be going through each idea one at a time, or each section one at a time, that is, uh, and explain the accents and all that good stuff. So, looks like that is it. So, let's go ahead and play this track. All right, so the form of this track, it starts out with intro, this first part. Then we have idea one or A section right here. Then it goes into idea two or B section. After that, we have, I guess you could say, C section, or little sort of like a build up here. And then it leads back into and finishes with the first idea, the A section. And finally, it goes out with an outro. So it's a pretty basic form, nothing complicated. Although I don't think forms can be complicated unless you're going all over the place and doing all these weird things. But then who's going to listen to your music, That's just my theory. So we're going to go through these instruments here. On the top, I have Dumpster High, which is just basically it's a patch of like dumpster instruments, I guess. And they're high, they're tuned high, which is why I labeled it high. So if I go ahead and open this up, we have the Almighty Damage library. And I call it Almighty because it really is almighty to me. You can get so many sounds out of it, it's ridiculous. So, right here like this. And you can see I've tuned it up 16 notches here. So, pretty high on the tuning there. So this is just, I've put on some delay effect somewhere in here. I always have to jump around these menus. I forget where they are, but oh, it's probably in the, it's over here. But anyway, you can hear the delay. So that's that. Let's go ahead and solo it and just see what I have going up like over here in the B section. It's just pretty much small stuff. I didn't really use this track much, so. So that's really all it is. It's just a little interesting color I just put there. So next up we have the Rust library. This is, I believe, from Sound Iron. Yeah, it's Sound Iron here. So I've also tuned this high, and I just always like tuning things high. Don't ask me why. I like to put a lot of high tune percussion in my tracks. So there's this instrument, and it they have some sort of I think it's the stepping here. It's like a distortion you can hear in there. So it's not like a very clean percussion, because I've added that distortion into it, which I wanted to do because I really like that distorted sound. So let's go ahead and solo this and see what happens starting from here. So this just starts out with the basic, it's like eighth notes or eighth notes or quarter notes. I have to pull it up and see, but yeah, we can go ahead and take a look at the MIDI data here. So yeah, that's I've used that throughout the track. Over here it starts kind of dancing. It sounds like a dance beat right here. So you get the idea. It's just that high end kind of a sound going on there. So the next instrument we have organic toms. So this is the toms in the intro, and you can kind of well, I have to open this one up too. Take a look at these. These go together. These are really layers. So I'm gonna show you this one right away. So you hear how this one has a lot more of a I'd say powerful booming sound, and I layered it with the top one because the top one you can hear it has that like thunder strike kind of it's that flam sound that you could hear like multiple drumsticks hitting the drum, which gives it that real big power, like it's just someone just striking the crap out of the drum. So that's why I layered these two together, because if I didn't do that, then it just sounds like, it kind of sounds flat and empty to me, you could say, in a sense. So there's that alone, and then these two together. It just adds a new dimension to the drums. So let's go ahead and play these two right here. If I pull up both of the data here, we have the main hits going every like 2 measures here. And then over here we have the main idea, which is playing right here. These are the accents. And you can hear a big difference. Like the main idea is playing with these like more powerful strikes. And then these are kind of filling in the space, and these are just normal single hits. They're not flam hits. So you can get a real sense of the difference here. I'll just play a quick part of this. You can really hear that those flam hits really do something to the track, to the overall sound. They're beautiful, awesome, can't live without them kind of thing. So those are these organic drums. Next up we have on the track list some taikos, a taiko type of instruments. This is from Drums of War 2, pretty nice library. Over here is where I first started to use it. And you can really hear this low end, fat big drum. I put that in there because to contrast with the drums before it, which didn't really have that really low boom, sub kind of boom sound in it. So I wanted to use that color because obviously I didn't use it yet. So This is how it sounds. There's that, and then over here I duplicated the track because of some mixing issues. I had to do a duplication of the track because they have these like rim shots, or I forget what they're called. I like to call them like sticks. That's just my name for it, I guess. I don't always pay attention to the technical names of these things, but there's those two instruments. Next up we have this right here. They call it a June or whatever. I don't know how to really pronounce it, but let's hear that one. So let me go a little further here. It's kind of like a bassy hand percussion. And I wanted to add that in just to fill in the space kind of down there below. And you got to add some hand percussion. I mean, you know, it's awesome. So I added some. There's actually some more down here too we'll get to. But then I got this other low end instrument too. It's like a sub boomy. This is also from Drums of War. Yeah, they call it sub boom. So so there you go. That's that sound. And again, that just kind of fills it in. It's not really doing too much there, and some of the like the tail ends, like I make sure I make that loud as I can. So then we got some low skin effects. This is from Damage. So that's really just I use it for kind of crescendos and those kind of things, kind of leading into a next section or the starting of a new section. It's kind of like a definition thing for me. Use it to define my sections. Over here, this is not really a percussion element, but I've used it in a sense with like the way I've chopped up the sound. What is this? Let's take a listen to it. So you can hear it. You can hear the volume being automated there, but I don't know why. I can't see the automation right now, which is weird. I know I wrote it in there. Strange, but go ahead and take a look at it over here. I only used it like twice or something. You could see it down here. Let me just raise this up. You can see how it's chopped up. These are playing 16th notes. Except at the end where I just let it crash out, but used it in kind of percussive way. I just wanted to have something a little bit different than just pure percussion. It just felt right to me at that time. So over here we have something from the Best Sound library, which is hand percussion. So I really like hand percussion. Let's go ahead and listen. So there's that one, and then we have a gong from Drums of War, Cinesamples. It's not really like a crash gong; it's more like a cymbal. So they have those kind of noises, and then we got one over here. Let's listen to this one. So that's it, really, basically. Yeah. So why did I pick these instruments? Well, a couple reasons. One, I just liked these instruments. So you listen to a sound and you say, oh, I like that sound, so let me just put it in my music. So that's just one way of doing it. Also, when I started making it, I started out with these drums right here, the organic toms and stuff, and I started building around that, you could say. So you can say, okay, this takes up these certain frequencies. So obviously hi-hats are really contrasted to that instrument. So I next went with like the hi-hats kind of stuff, which is these dumpster noises, and the Rust library, which is these high metal noises. So that immediately, you say, because I already have one thing, I'm going to add another thing in it, which is contrasted, because you're going to hear it in the mix. Obviously, it's going to add a lot more color, flavor, definition, all that good stuff, because you have a contrast. And then down here, you know, I added the sub boom because it's like really low, really down there, and you're gonna hear that it's distinctly different from these drums. Kind of the same idea with this, I guess. This was kind of like a layer with this drum, I guess you can say. These right here, these were just more for effects. Even the library patch calls them skin effects, so I went with that. The gong is different to me because it's a metal. It's like a purely metal sound, and you can hear it, so it's like completely different. The hand percussion to me is very distinct, a lot different from the toms. So I went with the hand percussion based on that too, because you know it's something that hadn't been used. I mean, that's kind of it. There's not too many other instruments aside from that. So that's that. So now I would say let's go through the ideas. So intro. The reason, well, let's just listen to the intro and I'll tell you what I was thinking there. So here's the intro. So that was the intro. Really, it was just I guess a setup for the rest of the track. So with intros, I'm finding, you know, I'm tending to realize, you know, they should be something that's interesting, something that introduces the track, of course. It's kind of like, you could say like a news headline, you know, if somebody looks at the news headline or just plays the first couple seconds of the track just to see what it is. You want to put something maybe in there that's interesting, it catches the ear, it sets up the track, it sets up the instruments so they don't feel so random whenever they do come in. For me, it was mainly capturing the feeling of the track, like, oh, the track's going to feel like this, boom, boom, you know, like really hard, epic, large sounding drums. So it just like in your face stuff. So I really wanted to just hammer those in the very beginning and just have it, you know, just resonate with whoever's listening. So the next section, my first main idea is really this pattern. It's such a basic pattern. I mean, you hear it everywhere all the time. So why did I use it? You know, because I'm a basic guy. No, I just, you know, sometimes you just use the ideas that are out there and you know it'll work, you know it will get the job done, so that's what I went with. So this is how it sounds. So I just soloed this one instrument patch here because this really is the idea. It's these accents right here, like boom, 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 and then boom, boom, boom. Really, that is probably the most used pattern you could ever think of. I mean, it's in like every type of music, and it's called a hemiola, if you want to be technical. I try not to abuse it because obviously it gets kind of redundant and all that. But I try to use it in interesting ways. So in the first measure, I used it. So you can see it right here. These are the 3 hits. And then over here, I didn't use it at all. And then as time goes on to the next section of the idea, it really just progresses and gets stronger and stronger. So it's basically a build-up. And who doesn't love a build-up, right? So I'll just play this idea in its entirety. So let's go ahead and play it. So that was the first idea, main idea. Now, these other elements, they come in, they get stronger and stronger, like the high Rust library here. So these hits start getting in stronger and stronger too, as well as other, like right here we got sticks. No, not that. Below, yeah. So this is kind of a similar type of idea. It's just like a faster, it's like double the time and speed of the main idea. So let's just listen to that. And yeah, so just get stronger. But the main thing to keep in mind is the main idea was there, and it still is there. You know, so it doesn't feel so random where I'm just jumping around. Oh, let's just go from idea to idea. So the main idea is present within this whole section. It just keeps building on top of the main idea. So yeah, there's that. There's one thing I did want to point out, which is when you're doing some kind of build up, what I like to do is give it like a small break before hitting the climax. So if you take a look here, I'll just pull up all these instruments. So we go. So you can hear right around here, the music drops down. The intensity drops down, and that's because I want to come in with a big fat finish, and that's obviously going to work better if the intensity before the finish drops down. And it's a lot more organic. It's more like, it's a lot more realistic, you can say, when all the instruments start playing something together and start having a dynamic together. So there's that. After that, it buttons off. Then the second section comes in here. So it's the same concept. The second idea, it goes there. It repeats again. Another second time it repeats. So the second idea is based off of Accents too, because it's just a percussion track. So I don't know what else I can base that off of. So we go. These are the accented hits right here. Let's just solo this. So that's it. Boom, 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 boom. That's the second idea. And again, it'll build up. This whole second idea builds up on top of that. One thing to note is, I kind of forgot to show you guys this earlier, but there is a snare drum in the mix too. It's not in a track here. Why? Because it is in here, I believe. Yeah, see. So it's in the same patch as the organic drums. So, and then up here is the snare. So the snare, after the main idea or first chorus or whatever, a lot of times people will bring in a new element, whether that's rhythm, drums, or whatnot. So I added the snare, and that's kind of like a signal to say, hey, this is like the first part of the song is kind of over here. The first main big idea is over. So now I've added something new. You can hear the snare clearly come in, and it's playing the accents of the second idea with those big drums. So let's go ahead and listen to the whole idea right here. So after second idea, we got this like third kind of idea, which is, it was more like a break, because I had two kind of big ideas and I wanted to just give it like a little break, throw some interesting patterns in there and just kind of build up and go back to the first idea. And so this is what this sounds like. This is kind of the first idea. This is kind of the first idea slash build-up. Just wanted to mention that before I finish the whole thing here. But I'll go ahead and start it from here, and then we'll go ahead and listen to the main finishing idea, back to the first idea, of course. But take note that it's a little different than the first time we played it. I personally don't like to play anything the same twice. It could be very similar, but I have to change something. It has to be a little different to me. Otherwise, I'm just putting repeat and copy pasting the first section. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Here comes the outro. So that pretty much finishes the track. And if we take a look here, there's obviously something new in the section, which is I added a lot of snare. That's not the snare. It's right here. Well, there's these noises too. Well, this was in the first one, so no. The snare's down here, so there's a snare from the section before it. But one of the other main things is that there's like a drop, like a pause. So let's go ahead and listen. You hear that small pause right here. It's just a little quarter section of a pause. And then over here we have the, this is what you can call it, eighth triplets. There's that. Give it a little flavor. So obviously it is different from the first time. And another thing to take note of, but I'm gonna show you guys more of this hopefully in another video, but take note of the volume change here, how like it just jumps to the next section. So you hear that it really just like boom comes in with a lot more dynamic right there. So I mean, I wanted to obviously give it a strong finish, and I think that was one of the things that really helped it finish strong and a lot different. I could have done a few more things, but you know, you work on it so long, and you don't have all the time in the world to perfect it. Otherwise, you'd just be sitting there forever perfecting the track. So, but that's that. So that is the whole track. I did want to say, if you guys have any questions, comments, whatnot, leave it below in the comment section. If this helped you out in any way, obviously leave a comment, because that would let me know that, hey, maybe I should do more of these. So if you guys want to hear any other tips and tricks, do all that good stuff, like the video, subscribe for sure, because that really helps me out, and I will be doing more of these videos based on you guys. So if you guys like it, comment, tell me what's good, tell me what helped you, all that. If there's interaction, there should be no reason why I can't make another one and give a lot of my personal tricks and tips and techniques and all that good stuff to you guys. So that's it. See ya.